see a president or a presidential candidate given a town hall and they're being asked questions of the audience, you need to know those questions have been vetted by, approved by the producers of the program. So yesterday, when Kamala Harris did her town hall in Phoenix with Univision, this question was asked of her, and it was something about, can you name 3 virtues of Donald Trump? Like, it's in this spirit of, can't we all just get along? I know we disagree about politics, even though the differences between Democrats and Republicans in this current age we live in is beyond disagreements. It's about whether people have the right to live unmolested by the government, which is a stark juxtaposition between what the Republican Party claims they stand for and what they actually stand for. It's the party of book bans and encroaching into private citizens' bedrooms and doctors' offices. This is what the Republican Party stands for. It's an autocratic fascist party, the largest, most organized and effective white supremacy organization on the planet. I've said it a million times, and I'm going to continue to say it. So this question from this woman, God bless her. I think people are just kind of programmed to ask these kind of things and think this way. But this is a stupid question. And Kamala Harris handles it about as adroitly as one can in this moment, in space and time and where she was. Brilliant. She just navigated the waters as best she could. Watch this, and then let's talk about the answer on the other side.
Señora Vicepresidenta, buenas noches.
Madam
Gracias
Vice
por estar
President,
aquí
good
con
evening.
nosotros.
Thank you so much for being here with us
Dejando la
tonight.
política, quisiera
Politics
preguntarle
aside,
algo
I would
más
like
personal.
to ask you
I would like to
something
ask you something more
personal.
personal, putting politics aside.
Sure.
Y de cómo usted valora
I'd like
a la gente
to know
con la que
how
está de
you
acuerdo,
value
And how do you value people who you don't agree with?
que me imagino que en
And I do imagine that in Washington,
Washington
you
there are
find
many.
plenty of them.
Mi pregunta para usted es,
And my question, hence,
¿Me
for
puede
you
decir
is as follows.
tres
Could you
virtudes
please
que
give
tiene
me
el
3
presidente
virtues
Donald Trump?
that
Could you mention 3 virtues of President Donald Trump?
President Donald Trump has?
So, thank you for the question. Let me start with this. Based on a life experience, I know that the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And part of what pains me is the approach that, frankly, Donald Trump and some others have taken, which is to suggest that it's us versus them, whoever that may be. And having Americans point fingers at each other, using language that's about belittling people and calling them names and meant to make them afraid and live in fear. I don't think that's healthy for our nation. And I don't admire that. And in fact, I'm quite critical of it coming from someone who wants to be president of the United States. I think Donald Trump loves his family, and I think that's very important. I think family is one of the most important things that we can prioritize. But I don't really know him, to be honest with you. I only met him one time on the debate stage. I'd never met him before. So I don't really have much more to offer you. But with the remaining time I have,
Yes, ma'am.
one of the things that occurred to me in terms of the previous question, I invite anyone who's interested in my policy perspective to go on to KamalaHarris.com.
She's right. And, I think she's offering far more fairness and charity than I would about Donald Trump loving his family. I don't think Donald Trump gives a single fuck about his family. They are a means to an end for him. He uses them as much as he uses the Constitution as a prop. They are just a mechanism by which he can feign like he's a family man. Several moments from this, though, several sections of this. Politics aside, she asks about her feelings of her political opponent. There's no politics aside here. And then further, the values, do you value people that you don't agree with, that you disagree with? Again, this isn't about someone you disagree with. This is about a man, lady who asked the question, who considers you vermin. This is a man who leads a party with several surrogates and supporters and spokespeople who say immigrants make our country dirtier and poorer, meaning you. Why are you tripping all over yourselves to identify virtues of Donald Trump? We know what his virtues are. His virtues are calling you vermin. His virtues are ending democracy in America. His virtues are inciting a deadly, violent insurrection against the country at the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. Attempting to overthrow the United States government by way of overturning a free and fair, settled American election. His virtues are extorting foreign leaders for dirt or assistance in election interference. Those are his virtues. Those are his virtues. Why are we tripping all over ourselves continuously as a people to ask, what about the good things about Donald Trump? What about the virtuous aspects of Donald Trump? What are they? Sociopathy? Is that his virtue? Autocracy? Fascism? Mass deportation? Let's just stop. Let's take a breath and have some self-assessment about where we are as a society, that we continue to get bamboozled by questions like this, like they're important. They're not important. The more apt question, the more appropriate question would be, what are the three most dangerous aspects of Donald Trump? It's not about disagreeing. It's not about where should we cap some kind of a progressive tax percentage at. These aren't policy disagreements. This is Donald Trump wanting to give police the power to kill without a trial, without a charge, without even an arrest, people they suspect of shoplifting. Suspect. Even though we have famously the presumption of innocence in this country. Look, maybe I'm being too hard on this private citizen lady. Maybe so. Maybe all of my frustrations about these questions being asked by journalists over and over and over and over, they think they're cute. Maybe it's just, it's all getting poured out onto this poor lady who asked a question. But it's also on Univision. It's also on the producers of this program. It's on the host to allow this question of only like 5 or 6 questions that were asked to be one of the ones. It's stupid. It gets us nowhere. There is no efficacy in either the question or the answer. Kamala Harris did as best she could with it, but come on. Anyway, I know there's going to be a ton of you who disagree. I'm here for it. Leave a comment below and tell me. You can also leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. If you appreciate my voice and my message and this channel and you want to help support it, you can click the join button below, become a channel member for $2 a month. You can also go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. If you're already on social media and you'd like to find me there, I am at Dollemore everywhere, from Facebook to Twitter to Threads to Instagram to Blue Sky to, I'm sure there's others. I'm at Dollemore and I'd love to see you. I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.